Okay. Thanks for coming up.
Sure.
I do appreciate it. A couple things real quick. Like I said, I was going to turn the video recorder on. It is running now.
Okay.
Everything we say is being audio and video recorded.
Okay.
Secondly, you're free to leave. I asked you to come up here. And it's been, about a week or so ago now. You would spend an evening with me, what you saw or what you guys did, what,
Sure.
the times and everything.
I picked her up at her house at about, I think it was about 7:30. We hung out for a minute, had a cup of coffee, and then called ahead to Biaggi's to make reservations. We left her house. We arrived at Biaggi's around, I think, 8 o'clock. We were seated about 10 or 15 minutes after that. We had dinner, and that lasted until approximately between 9 and 9:15. Then we left Biaggi's and went to Palace Cinemas and saw a movie which started at 9:45.
Okay.
After the movie, I took her back to her house, and that was right at about midnight or 10 till then. I dropped her off. I saw that she got into the house okay. She had closed and locked the door behind her. And she has a signal where she flips her porch light on and off to signal that she's in and her doors are locked and whatnot. And after that, I went directly home.
Okay. When you dropped or at any time in the evening, did you see anyone out on foot in the neighborhood, whether they be lurking in the shadows or just walking down the street, or?
I didn't. I mean, there were people out. It was a nice evening. There were a lot of families in their neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as anyone suspicious or lurking, anything like that, I didn't notice.
Okay. When you dropped her off, or any time in the evening, did you notice anyone just sitting in a vehicle anywhere?
No.
Okay. Okay. As far as when you dropped her off, just vehicles that were in the area, do you recall any vehicles that were in the area?
There's a van that's usually parked sort of catty corners of her house. I think it's a white Dodge minivan. And I know there were a few other cars further back, but there are usually cars parked along there just because of how many people live there.
Mm-hmm.
So I know there were cars parked along the street, but I didn't notice anything in particular. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any pickup trucks that you noticed?
No, not
Not that you can
that
recall?
I can recall immediately.
Okay. All right. How long have you known?
About 3 years now, 3.5 years.
Okay. You guys hang out quite a bit, or?
Yes, she travels for work, and with her job, she's pretty busy, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely I would say that when she's available or when I'm available, we see a lot of each other.
Okay. All right. And I think you told me on the phone that since this incident, you've been spending the evenings there, just kind of
Yes,
extra security, or
I
just,
think since last Tuesday night and up till last night, I've been spending every night there. Just
okay. Prior to that, had you ever spent the night there?
yes,
Okay.
not too often, but a couple times when we went out, or when we went to a concert or a show one time in the Quad Cities, and I came back and spent the night. So.
Okay.
It's not too unusual to stay
Okay.
out there, since she does live kind of far from my house.
Okay. And when you would have spent the night, what kind of vehicle would you have been driving?
Most of the time I would have been driving my car,
Mm-hmm.
which is a silver Pontiac Grand Am. It's a 2000 two-door.
Okay.
But I also sometimes drive my mom's car, which is a tan Lexus RX 300, and that is a 2002 four-door sort of mid-sized sport utility.
Okay. What's the license plate number of your car?
M.
Okay. Have you seen any of the press coverage?
Yes.
Have you seen the suspect picture in the paper at all?
Yes.
Did that person look familiar to you at all?
Sort of, but because of my, I, I see a lot of police, so I couldn't say where or when. I mean, it's very possible I saw him at the courthouse a couple times. I did work up there for a few months.
Okay.
So, it, he did look vaguely familiar, but not
What
anyone.
did you do when you were at the? And that was when was that? Would that have been?
That was 2 summers ago. So not last summer, but the summer before that.
Okay.
I think it was like May through August, 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay. Anything else you can think of?
I mean, the one thing, since her van was parked in the driveway, from what I've heard and what I've read, the suspect was around the side of the house. So my view was completely blocked because of her car. And I didn't notice anything, but at the same time, since everything with had ended, I no longer, beforehand I would really look at the cars on the street. I would notice things all around, but since that ended, I, obviously didn't think I had any reason to.
Right.
The one thing I did, when I dropped her off, I was in my mom's car, and the lights are a little bit higher, and I pulled back, and I kept the lights on the front door. I don't know why, I don't know if it was sixth sense or I just did. And I kept the lights on the door the whole time, saw that she got in, she turned around, she closed and locked the door, flipped her light on, waved at me that everything was okay before I left. Okay. So I definitely, I made sure she got in the house.
All right. So when you dropped her off, you pulled into the driveway.
Mm-hmm.
She got out,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you left, you backed out of the driveway.
Right. I backed out and just kind of sat, with the lights on the house until she had gotten in, and I saw she was okay, and then I proceeded to drive off.
Okay. Very good. If you think of anything else, anything comes to mind at all, don't hesitate to give me a call.
Definitely.
All right? All right.
Thank you very much.
Told you it wouldn't take very long.
Yeah.